Hey guys, welcome to another Husky ride. They were chomping at the bit again. It's a little cooler. It was about 40, 45 degrees this morning, and they love their runs when it's cold. Blue was a little nippy today at Bell. I don't know. He got up on the wrong side of the bed, so to speak. But anyway, hey, I wanted to talk about how the hardest times in life create the greatest blessings. And looking back on life, it's really been dawning on me all the things that were hard, and I was like, man, why am I going through this? God, why do you have this happening right now? I find myself looking more back on my life and going, wow, this came out of that. This great thing came out of that, this relationship and so forth. So, I wanted to talk about that. So there's a phrase that gets used a lot in life. People talk about mountaintop moments, the wins, the breakthroughs, the moments when everything finally works out. Here's some old pictures of me and Christy when we were dating and before we were married. But if I'm being honest, the moments that shaped my life the most weren't on the mountaintops. They were in the valleys, the hard seasons, the moments when nothing made sense, the times when life didn't go according to plan. And looking back now, decades later, those valleys turned out to be some of the most meaningful, sacred, and defining moments of my life. There's a verse in the Bible that says, silver is refined by fire. It's heated, dipped, purified, heated again, until something strong and beautiful remains. I really believe people are refined the same way. When my wife Christy and I got married, we were very young. She was a teenager, she was pregnant, and we believed deep in our hearts that the right thing to do was to get married and raise our child in a loving and committed home. Here's some pictures of Ashley when she was a baby, but there she is now as an adult, happy as can be. That decision to get married wasn't celebrated by everyone. Parts of my family were unwelcoming. A lot of our friends as well. A lot even tried to talk us out of it. I even had a pastor try to talk me out of it, which was really interesting. But it was painful. It was awkward. And to be honest, it was brutal at times. Christy carried a lot of that hurt, and some of it still lingers today. But we pressed forward anyway. We didn't know much. We didn't have money. We didn't have a plan beyond, hey, let's love each other and do the best we can. And here we are, almost 29 years later, 4 incredible daughters, a marriage that has been stretched, tested, refined, and strengthened. When we look back now, we laugh at how hard it was. Not because it wasn't painful, but because we can finally see what God was building through it. Soon after our first daughter, Ashley, was born, we moved to Arizona for work. I'd gotten a job at an oil company. No friends, no family nearby, no safety net, just us. A young couple, a newborn, a new job, a new home, a brand new life. At the time, it felt overwhelming. But looking back now, it forced us to rely on each other. We learned how to protect one another, how to communicate, how to function as a team. We didn't have anyone really to fall back on. And because of that, we grew closer than we ever could have otherwise. What felt like isolation at the time turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Then came one of the deepest valleys of our lives. When our daughter Mia was just 2 months old, she was diagnosed with a rare disease, diamond blackfan anemia. Most people have never heard of it. We certainly hadn't. At the time, there was less than 500 known cases in the entire world. What followed were 21 years of hospitals, blood transfusions, medications, uncertainty, and constant prayer. There were seasons of hope and seasons of exhaustion. There were times we didn't know if she would even make it. And through it all, we learned what it really means to rely on God. Not casually, not philosophically, but desperately. There were no backup plans, no shortcuts, just faith and family and perseverance. There's Mia with her sister Alyssa. She was in the hospital getting a transfusion. And they made the most of those days, the kids, her sisters. Something happened to our family during those years. We became incredibly close. When one person was struggling, everyone else leaned in. Our daughters grew up with compassion, with perspective, with empathy. We learned to celebrate small victories. We learned gratitude in ways that are hard to explain unless you've lived it. And after more than 2 decades of walking that road, Mia received a bone marrow transplant. Those last 2 pictures were her and her sister when she was receiving the marrow, and also Mia graduating UA, University of Arizona. Couldn't be more prouder of her. She was actually taking classes during her bone marrow transplant when they're giving her all the chemo and everything. She is the model of perseverance and hard work and you name it. But yeah, her sister Madison donated her marrow to her, and today she's healed. It's hard to put into words what that moment felt like, but I'll say this. I wouldn't trade the closeness of our family for an easier path. That valley shaped us. Each valley shaped us. It bonded us. It refined us. Here's the thing I've learned. We don't grow the most when life's easy. We grow when life forces us to choose faith over fear. Commitment over comfort. Hope over despair. The valleys strip away what doesn't matter. They show us who we really are and who we can become. If you're walking through a hard season right now, I want you to hear this. This isn't wasted time. God doesn't waste pain. What feels like breaking may actually be shaping. What feels like loss may be preparing you for deeper love. One day, you may look back and realize the very thing you begged God to remove was the thing He used to build something lasting. You just saw some pictures of our family over the years. A lot of those years we were struggling. We were hurting. But when looking back, those were the funnest years. The years we were broke, finding money in the couch cushions to rent a movie at Blockbuster, if you remember those days, or to get a pizza at Little Caesars, those $5 pizza deals. So silver is refined by fire. Lives are refined by hardship. I've lived it, and I'm grateful, deeply grateful for every valley. Not because they were easy, but because of who they made us. If this video kind of hit you somehow, and maybe you're going through a valley or looking back on life, you see how those valleys shaped you, leave a note in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, have a great rest of the day and make the most of every relationship and every time with loved ones.